This morning, the man accused of killing a family of 4 and abandoning a baby is in court right now. Austin Drummond are expected to be there as well and stand before a judge. Here's a live look inside of that courtroom. Let's listen in.
August the 13th, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong day here. August the 14th. When you hear your name called, if you would, please come to the podium here. We'll take up your case. I'm going over with everybody their rights first, and then I'll get to Mr. Drummond. If you're here today and you've been cited into court or arrested for any charge whatsoever, you have a right to plead not guilty throughout your entire cause of action. You are presumed not guilty unless you are found guilty at trial. If you are found guilty, you have the right to appeal that case within 10 days to the circuit court. You also have a right to have an attorney be appointed to represent you and also retain counsel to represent you if you qualify. If you wish to have counsel appointed to represent you, the court is happy to ask you questions about your finances to determine whether or not you qualify. Most importantly, it applies for everybody. You are protected by the Fifth Amendment from having to speak or testify about your case, so please don't tell me anything about the facts of your case, but whatever you say will be used against you by the district attorney's office at a later date. With that being said, those are your rights. General, are we ready on Mr. Drummond?
Yes.
Mr. Huffman, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor.
I want to express my appreciation again to you for taking this case.
Yes.
I do appreciate that very much.
Yes.
Have you had a chance to speak with Mr. Drummond?
I have, Judge.
Okay.
We would like to waive the 14-day requirement, and we need to set this court for hearing.
Mr. Huffman, what I want to do, if you were to do your best and just put an attorney on these forms to show that he's waiving the 14-day rule for our records. And I just believe I heard you say you requested a preliminary hearing, is that right?
Yes.
Have the parties come up with a date?
We were looking at that earlier. We're available for questions.
General Goodman?
We've got to set a date. We'll make it.
Well, being that this is a very unique case, I think that this may require a special setting, which goes, on a day that's not Monday or Thursday when I usually have my dockets.
Yes, sir.
I guess my question is how much time are you going to need? How much time are you going to need, General, before we?
Whatever we're going to need.
As I say, Judge, he understands, yes, things anything to a far less representation on that. He's going to be back home, I think he's 20 ahead. But that's very high, I would think.
That's going to be a circuit court date on the 25th.
Yes, sir.
I've got a juvenile docket that day, I'm sorry. 28th is also a standard day for a docket. And then I know on Friday of that week, I don't have anything on Friday the 29th.
We have a trial schedule up to the 28th. That's right. It may go into the 29th. So.
That's the reason I didn't suggest that.
Well, what about?
That's September 4th.
That's one of my usual days. I have a general sessions docket. If everybody's okay, I can set it that afternoon.
Well, that's what I was going to suggest.
Yes, sir.
Set it after lunch.
Is everybody okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's do that then. Mr. Drummond, good morning. I am going to continue your case to September the 4th at 9 o'clock. Sir?
I was under the impression that it was 14 days for the preliminary hearing.
Well,
Is that not?
I had discussed that with him, and I told him that we would
Huffman indicates he spoke with you, sir, about the 14-day rule being waived, but not the 30-day rule. So you are entitled to have a preliminary hearing now within 30 days. Your attorney is waiving your 14-day waiver, so we're going to have the preliminary hearing to give him time to prepare to represent you in that case. So your case is going to be continued to the 4th of September, and we're going to set that. How about at 1 o'clock that day, guys? Is everybody good with that time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. General, is the state comfortable with that time?
Judge, we're going to set the other people semi-related on the same day.
Is the state agreeable to setting
Yes,
all
sir,
these
that's fine.
matters?
What is it?
Or I can't do the 4th. I can do it after that.
Well, we can do separate hearings. They don't have to be on the same day.
I'm fine to do that, seeing that they're charging accessory after the fact. I don't mind to do that. The court will continue the matter in Mr. Drummond's cases to Thursday, September the 4th at 1 o'clock p.m. here in this courtroom. Court will remind Mr. Drummond to keep in contact with his attorney, as well as the previous conditions that the court had entered regarding this matter.
I do have one question about that. The restraining order states in contact with any family members of alleged victims. His girlfriend is one of the family members, and family has indicated that, Mr. Drummond's family has indicated that she would like to have some contact, at least telephone contact. I don't know how the court did it.
Your Honor, we're asking for a restraining order that includes her as well.
And she's already included in the previous.
Right, and we're asking that continue.
Well, without having heard any testimony or any proof, or having heard from that family member themselves, I don't feel comfortable amending any restraining order without there being some type of proof or some type of testimony to show that I should do that. So I'm going to continue to have the restraining order remain in place, and that will include all family members until further hearings at that time.
Yes,
So
sir.
we'll continue it for that purpose then. Okay? All right, Mr. Drummond, your case is continued to September 4th, 1 o'clock this afternoon. Keep in contact with your attorney, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have for the court. Maybe excuse me.
Yes, sir, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Are you comfortable to go ahead and take up the other matters at this time? I wanted to do that since they have everybody else here. My out-of-town counsel will take care of you guys as well. I'm sorry?
What you've just seen is pretty much a preliminary hearing in the case of Austin Drummond versus the state of Tennessee. Judge Andrew Cook is the presiding judge in this case, who basically started off things by reading the rights of Austin Drummond. He is, again, the man that's accused of killing a family of 4 and also abandoning a baby. He read him his rights, told him he has the right to testify, he has the right to an attorney. It looks like Drummond's attorney was in court and was present. Drummond actually joined via Zoom or via some type of communication device on a computer. He was dressed in black and white, he was shackled with handcuffs, and he stayed seated in his seat surrounded by at least 4 guards. D.A. Goodman was also there in the courtroom as well as with Drummond's attorney. Now, the judge, Judge Cook, said that this seems to be a special case that needs some extra attention, and so they started discussing when they could do some scheduling for another preliminary hearing so that Drummond and his attorney can continue to talk, everyone can go through evidence, those kinds of things, to just get everything in order as this case continues. They agreed on one date specifically, which is September 4th at 1 p.m., that the case would be continued until then. Drummond and his attorney are still working to make contact to still discuss this case, but his attorney also asked something that was pretty unique towards the end, where the attorney asked if Drummond could have contact with his girlfriend. And it seems like the girlfriend is a family member of the victim's family. They didn't disclose this woman's name. They didn't disclose how she's related to the victim's family, but That is what the attorney requested. Now, the problem with that is that, you know, as in the last hearing, there was a court order set in place that Drummond is to have no contact with anyone within the victim's family, the 4 people who were killed and also the baby that was abandoned. They're all family. Drummond is to have no contact with that. The judge told the attorney that, hey, we're not going to do that at this time. We haven't heard any testimony, hadn't heard from any witnesses, and he doesn't feel comfortable lifting that order even in that special case. But again, this is the case of Austin Drummond that's happening live in Tiptonville right now. We're also expecting to hear 2 other cases today, Tanaka Brown and Giovante Thomas. Those are 2 of 4 people that are alleged accomplices in this entire investigation that spans at least 3 different counties, Madison, Dyer, and Lake County. So again, this is just the very beginning stages of what will be a pretty complicated, complex, big case involving several different moving parts, several different people, and several families at this time. Again, that is an inside look inside of Judge Andrew Cook's courtroom in Tiptonville. We, of course, are going to keep you up to date as this case continues to develop. If those other 2, Tanaka Brown and Giovante Thomas, are in court today, we'll bring you more updates about them as well. For now, let's go ahead and listen back inside of this courtroom.
Docket for that day as well, if the attorneys can find a time that works.
Your Honor, I think that my matter, so co-defendant with my client, Mr. Drummond, is the criminal conspiracy case, which is separate apart from the facts of their case. So I really don't need to be the same thing they have. I'd have to have a separate hearing.
I agree with that. That's true. I agree with that. Mr. Creasy, do you have a date in mind?
Judge, while he's looking, we were looking at the 12th.
Is that a Friday?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. We'll do it Friday. Can the state do that day?
Yes, that's fine.
Now, on the 12th, I don't think I have anything that morning. Would morning be better or would afternoon be better for y'all?
Either one's good.
We do 10?
Morning.
Fine with that. Let's do the morning. You need that. Y'all at 10 o'clock on the 12th?
No, that's fine. That's fine with me.
Okay. Then we'll bring them over and I'll make them aware of that, but we'll tentatively schedule the 12th at 10 o'clock for Mr. Sanders and Mr. Brown. Mr. Creasy, do you have a date?
So the dates that I have clear, I could do the afternoon of September 2nd. I know that's a regular circuit date in our county. I could do the afternoon of September. That's a Friday afternoon.
We are eliminating the notion of lawyers not working on Friday, it sounds like, so that's a good.
Well, my schedule's a little busy.
But, that'd be fine with the second and the afternoon.
That's a Tuesday afternoon, is that right, guys?
Yes.
Mr. Creasy, how about 1 o'clock on September the 2nd?
That'll be fine.
The camera is not on at the jail.
It's all yours.
Okay, never mind. He's just not on mine, that's okay. He can see me though on the other. Mr. Powell, good morning, sir. Okay. Mr. Creasy, we have discussed a date for September the 2nd at 1 o'clock p.m. in the afternoon. Is that correct?
Powell, they're going to set your preliminary hearing for the afternoon of September the 2nd. I'll come down and see you.
Mr. Powell, what I'm going to do is today we're setting your cases for preliminary hearing. Mr. Creasy, in regards to any time limits, how does your...
I don't think the time limits apply. He's currently incarcerated out of Crockett County. He does have a bond there, so this is not the case.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure of that before we set him out. Mr. Powell, I'm going to continue your cases to September the 2nd at 1 o'clock p.m. It'll be here in this courtroom. You'll be brought over for that, sir. We will be taking you up that day and time, okay? While you are incarcerated, though, if you were to make your bond conditions will remain the same. You must keep in contact with your attorney. Mr. Creasy, you can have no contact with Austin Drummond's, and you cannot return to Northwest Correctional Facility in Tiptonville, Tennessee, okay?
Can I address one more?
Yes, sir.
Has my bond been loaded?
I'm sorry?
Has my bond been lowered?
No?
We'll take up that issue on September the 2nd, Mr. Powell. I'll file a motion. The other issues, there was a restraining order on Mr. Powell that restrained him from being around certain people that he's not even accused of.
I think that was entered in order, that was entered in error by the court, I think that.
Yes, sir, it was, we did not ask for a restraining order on that.
So if there is any order that's down, I'm going to rescind that because it does not apply to cases involving alleged victims in the Drummond matter. So I will rescind that in regards to any restraining. So that case is set for preliminary hearing. I'll show this is rescinded on today's date regarding this restraining order. Mr. Creasy, we'll get him back here then, okay?
That's all I have, Mr. Powell.
Yes, sir. Mr. Powell, thank you.
All right, what you just heard there was Brandon Powell in court. He is one of the 4 other accomplices that are accused in this case with Austin Drummond. The Judge Andrew Cook, let him know that his case will be continued until September the 2nd, back there in Tiptonville as well. He is to have no contact with Austin Drummond, and it seemed like he asked if his bond was going to be lowered at this point, where the judge said no, his bond would not be lowered. His bond could be issued at a later date at some point. But again, September 2nd is the date that he will appear back in court. We're also waiting on one other person to be in court as well today, one of the other accused accomplices in this case. And we're going to go back inside of the courtroom and listen in to see if that person will appear in court in just a few moments.
Ms. Sanders, good morning, ma'am. Okay, Mrs. Cash is here. Good morning again. Okay, Mrs. Cash, I believe we are now going to set Ms. Sanders for preliminary hearing. Is that correct?
We are, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, is there any other announcements that need to be taken up in her matter?
Yes, Your Honor, and I don't mean to speak for the state, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that they are not pursuing the source hearing for the bond. Also, I believe we are in agreement to reduce the bond to $25,000.
That's correct. If you will do this for me.
Sure.
I appreciate you submitting a motion. It appears though it is going to be a consent order on that. If you could just grant, if you could draft a consent order for our file to be placed in, I'm sorry, for it to be placed in her file for the record. I'm going to show that the bond in this case, based on a consent motion that appears between the state of Tennessee and the defendant, the source hearing order is rescinded and lifted, she will be able to post her bond in this matter. In addition to that, based on an agreement between the state and the defense, the bond is reduced to $25,000. And Ms. Sanders, I do want to tell you, while we are doing that, we are also going to continue your case for a preliminary hearing. And I believe we agreed on September the 12th at 10 a.m. That's going to be a Friday morning. And you'll need to be here that day with your attorney ready to go in your case. Now, I want to remind you that you do have conditions on your bond that apply to you still, ma'am. Those conditions being that you must keep in contact with your attorney. You can have no contact with Austin Drummond, nor may you have any contact with any of the family members of Adriana Williams, Matthew Wilson, Braden Williams, and Courtney Rose, or the minor child with initials WW. These cases are continued for a preliminary hearing on the 12th of September, and her bond is going to be reduced to $25,000. Ms. Cash, if you will give me an order of consent, I'll be happy to do that. Okay?
Wonderful. Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Thank you.
All right, that was Judge Andrew Cook again, this time with a different defendant, De'Ara Sanders, who was also in court via Zoom or via Teams through a computer device, as well as Mr. Powell and Mr. Drummond. That is how they all appeared, and each and every one of their attorneys have been present and in court. De'Ara Sanders, her court preliminary hearing has been set for September 12th at 10 a.m. in the morning. She is to have no contact with Mr. Drummond or the victim's family at any point. Her bond has been given, but I believe he said her bond would be reduced to about $25,000. Again, that is De'Ara Sanders that was in court via Zoom or via Teams of some sort with a reduction of her bond and will be out if she's able to post that bond. Let's listen back in to see if any other accomplices or people in this case will be in court again today.
Brown, good morning. Mr. Taylor, good morning, sir. Good morning, Judge. Mr. Taylor, I believe we have discussed September the 12th for him also at 10 o'clock a.m. for preliminary hearing. Is that correct? That's correct. Anything else that we need to take up this morning regarding Mr. Brown other than setting his case for preliminary?
I just want to make sure Mr. Brown heard that we'll set it for a preliminary hearing on September the 12th at 10 o'clock. In addition, I did previous court counsel filed a motion to set reduced bond. I also filed a motion to reduce bond. I would like to be heard on it.
State, is it the state?
The state would need to respond to the motion, we haven't had that opportunity.
I'll be happy to address bond on that so the state can have time to respond if they wish to. We'll set the matter for preliminary hearing, and I'll take up not only the preliminary hearing, but I'll take up your motion that day as well at time, okay? Mr. Brown, your attorney has filed a motion to reduce your bond. In addition to that, he has also requested a preliminary hearing. The court is going to reset your matter to September the 12th at 10 a.m. for a preliminary hearing in this case. Additionally, the court will also take up your motion to reduce bond on that date and time. I want to remind you of what your bond conditions are. Your bond conditions are, sir, that you will have no contact with the family of Adriana Williams, Matthew Wilson, Courtney Rose, and Braden Williams, or the minor child WW. You will have no contact with Mr. Austin Drummond, and you will also keep in contact with your attorney as a condition on your bond, sir. So we'll reset your matters to the 12th at 10 a.m. and we'll get you back here then. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Allowance everybody over here.
Okay. Thank you, Judge. Yes, sir. Thank you. I'll thank the media again. I know you guys.
All right, and it looks like this was the last defendant that will be in court today concerning this case. That was Tanaka Brown, that will be in court again for a preliminary hearing on September 12th at 10 a.m. His attorney has also filed a motion to reduce his bond, and the judge says that he will take up that motion on the 12th and consider it then. So again, a lot in court today of just a lot of housekeeping, a lot of scheduling to make sure that everything is on track when it comes to the proceedings within this case. Again, Judge Andrew Cook is residing in all of these cases. Austin Drummond will be back in court on September 4th at 1 p.m. Also back in court on September 2nd will be Brandon Powell. Back in court on September 12th at 10 a.m. will be De'Ara Sanders and will be Tanaka Brown. Again, Austin Drummond is the man that's accused of killing a family of 4 and abandoning a baby. When it comes to the case of Brandon Powell, Tanaka Brown, and De'Ara Sanders, they are all 3 of 4 people who are accused of in some way helping Drummond as being accomplices. But again, lots of court dates, lots of scheduling, and there will be more scheduling and more hearings to come as this case continues to develop in the several weeks and months ahead. You, of course, can stay up to date with us on the latest news anywhere, anytime by streaming us right here on 24+. You can also download our free ABC 24 News app that's available in your Apple App Store or in Google Play for your phone so that you can get up-to-the-date minutes, notifications on this story and many others that we're covering every single day. Thank you so much for sticking around with us and for staying with us here on 24+ News Live. We'll be back tomorrow.